Hey guys, I finally got my KMC beadlock wheels in for project 4x40, so I thought since there are no other reviews currently out on the web for these wheels, I'll do an unboxing for you and let you see them firsthand. Alright, so first things first, here is the label that comes on the side of the box. They are made in China. Now I thought it was important to note that because when I called to get technical specs on these wheels, they told me they were made in the USA. So these wheels actually come inside another box. This is the box that was inside. So they're double boxed. They're very well packaged. First thing we're going to get is somewhat of an instruction sheet for assembly on your wheels. Next you're going to have some pamphlets, some more generic info. This is actually kind of interesting stuff because it doesn't match the information that's on the wheels. Got a nice piece of cardboard protecting the rim, styrofoam, and finally our wheel. So it comes in this piece of plastic. And lastly, we have our box of hardware. So here is our new KMC 234 Grenade beadlock. We got the 8 on 6.5 bolt pattern for our 1-ton axles. Now the reason I thought I'd make the video is because I was actually searching for one. When I was researching these wheels, there was zero information on the Grenade wheel. There's some information on the Machete wheel, but it's a bit different. And when I called Wheel Pros in Kansas City, they're the ones that sell these wheels, they couldn't give me any technical info. And I was getting super frustrated because you can't talk to any engineers. It's like we buy these wheels from the moon. Like nobody knows anything about them. All they can do is sell them. So some of the main things that I wanted to determine when I called Wheel Pros was if these have 2 valve stems or not, and they do. You got a valve stem hole here, one at the bottom, which is really nice for airing down. The other thing is they don't show any images of the center caps that are included. So here's what you get. I've already removed the 3 of these that you get that hold it on. So this whole assembly comes off. And the way it works is the ring around the bottom is made out of aluminum, and then the center cap part that's got this plastic wrap on it is actually plastic. And then here's what the wheel looks like underneath. So you can run it just like this if you want. It's powder coated all the way to the base. There are going to be some scratch marks on there from that center cap being bolted down. But the intention is that you would remove the center of the center cap and keep this powder coated aluminum ring screwed down onto there. And it looks pretty good without the center ring in there if you have lockout hubs or if you want to leave access to your free float rear axles. So here's the hardware that comes with: zinc plated grade 8 bolts. There's 24 bolts on the beadlock. So if we take this off, I'll show you the back side here. It's got these cool little machined grooves in there to help bite into the rib of the tire. It's got a smooth edge on the wheel, and it's actually got a lip that's very tight up against the bead of the tire, so that centers it when you install the tire. It's a bit trickier to install a tire on one of these than something like one of the cheaper Raceline steel beadlocks, but it's going to keep that tire centered, so you're not having to eyeball and shift the wheel inside the tire. Once you get that bead over this lip, that should keep the tire centered. So I like that a lot. Another really big thing I would needed to know is how the finish was on the wheels, because they offered a powder coated wheel in black, and then they offered what they call machined, just a plain machined wheel. And so they're saying that the machined had clear coat wet paint on it, and as far as I can tell, these do not have any paint on them. So really, if you're like me and you're going to go get the wheels powder coated to match your vehicle, I'd probably just go with the machined wheel, because it doesn't actually appear like they've coated it with anything. I went with the black wheel here, just thinking that it would be easier to visually tell that you get all the old powder coat off before you go to apply the new powder coat. So there's just some slight scuff marks here, but they don't warrant it. They say this wheel's intended for off-road use and it's going to lose its paint, so therefore they won't warrant the paint. So we can see down on the inside of the rib of the wheel that the 8-hole pattern is rated for 80 psi, and there we can confirm the wheel is made in China. And then it goes to max load for the wheel, and this is an 8-bolt wheel, so it's 3,640 pounds, which is actually higher than any tire I own. I've got a 33-inch tire, load range E, and it's not even rated that high. And there it says off-road use only. The mating surface is left bare, so is the portion that rides on the hub. And last but not least, where the bolts for the beadlock thread in, they go into a steel insert, and these are replaceable. You can call Wheel Pros and get however many of those you want if you want to have spares to repair the wheel if you're out on the trail, whatever. That way, if you booger up a thread during installation, the wheel is not totaled. So thanks for joining me for another unboxing video. Hopefully this one gave you some helpful info on the KMC Grenade and helps you decide if it's the right fit for your project.